Hello guys, welcome back. So there has been a lot of funny business going on with the Indiana Fever lately. And if you've been paying attention, one name keeps coming up over and over again: Stephanie White. Now, yesterday, the Fever took on the Las Vegas Aces, and there were several moments from that game that immediately caught people's attention. We had what many fans believed was another subtle shot aimed at Caitlin Clark. We saw Stephanie White chatting it up with Becky Hammon after the game, and people online immediately started joking about it. They were saying, "Hey Becky, thanks for having our backs at the press conference." Obviously, that's speculation, but you already know how social media works. Once fans start connecting dots, the conversation takes on a life of its own. But all jokes aside, it wasn't even that interaction that stood out the most. The biggest takeaway came during Stephanie White's post-game press conference. The comments she made only fueled more questions about the direction of this Indiana Fever team. And honestly, it brought everyone back to the clip that had already gone viral earlier in the day. Because a lot of fans walked away feeling like Stephanie White is slowly moving away from Caitlin Clark. Yeah, that's what people are saying. They're saying she's gradually handing this team over to Kelsey Mitchell. And if you've watched this season closely, you can understand why some people feel that way. Kelsey Mitchell has consistently been the focal point of the offense. The ball finds her, the plays are designed for her, and she's getting every opportunity to score. Now, don't get me wrong, Kelsey Mitchell is a talented player. Nobody is denying that. But if the long-term plan is to build everything around Kelsey Mitchell instead of Caitlin Clark, a lot of fans simply don't believe that's going to work. Now, here's where things get even more interesting. The Fever are eventually going to have salary cap decisions to make. That's just reality. Caitlin Clark is expected to become eligible for a max or supermax type contract in the near future, depending on the new collective bargaining agreement and future salary structure. Now, let me make something crystal clear. When I say I think Caitlin Clark could eventually leave Indiana, that's just my personal opinion. That's my own theory. It's not a report, it's not insider information, and it's definitely not a fact. I'm simply looking at the situation and wondering what happens if things continue down this path. Let's say Caitlin Clark decides to stay. Let's say she tells the Fever, "You know what? I'll give this another shot." Then what happens with Kelsey Mitchell? Can Indiana realistically pay everyone? Because if Kelsey Mitchell continues putting up over 20 points per game, she's naturally going to expect to be paid like one of the league's top stars. And again, I'm not saying she doesn't deserve a huge contract, but there's a fair question to ask. How would Kelsey Mitchell perform on a team where she isn't the primary scoring option, where the offense isn't centered around her? That's something we haven't really seen during the stretch because she's getting a tremendous amount of opportunities. She didn't score 30 points against the Aces, but she's still averaging more than 20 points while averaging around 3 assists per game. A lot of fans argue she's looking to score first, and they feel the offense has become heavily focused on her shot attempts. Now, after the game, Stephanie White addressed the media once again, and I'm telling you, for a lot of Indiana Fever fans, these comments raised even more eyebrows. Some of you may have already heard the clip earlier today, but it's worth listening to again because the wording, the tone, and the message have sparked a huge debate among the fan base. Listen carefully to what Stephanie White had to say, because many fans believe it reveals exactly where this team is headed.
All right, y'all, great job. Great job. We did a lot of great things. I'm sure this has to be a season low 7 turnovers. Wow. You take care of the ball, you give yourself a chance, right? 13 offensive rebounds. Extra possessions matter. We out-rebounded them 39-30. Really good stuff. First quarter, y'all, they shot 62%. By the second quarter, we had them down to 45. By the third quarter, down to 40. And we ended the game in the 40s. And third quarter, 26-14. We came out of the gate ready to go. Okay, all of that matters. All of that matters. We were resilient early in the first quarter, and then we continued to climb throughout the rest of the game. Okay, really proud of you guys. That's a great win. It's a great effort.
You take care of the ball, you give yourselves a chance. Team low, 13 for 7 turnovers. Huh? 7 turnovers? Was that a shot at Caitlin? Hey, I'm just saying, look, the people in the comments are saying that. The first thing I thought about when I heard it was, I heard you mention this before. All of a sudden, Caitlin don't play, and now you're mentioning the turnovers and this and that. Like, I mean, the point guard play was awful. Let's be real. Raven Johnson was okay at best. Tyasha Harris, 0 for 4 points in 26 minutes, 4 assists. She stank. Like, let's be real. The point guard play was piss poor by the Indiana Fever. It just looked like the Aces didn't want to be there. I don't know. It's definitely seeming like some shade. The team is better without Caitlin. Talks have already started. Her system works when CeCe is not in. CeCe interrupts her system because CeCe is her own system. You know what I'm saying? Look, she's low-key shading CeCe. Trade Caitlin. Stop wasting her prime. You know what I mean? So, I mean, everybody is saying she's shading Caitlin Clark. I felt like it could have been something there. It might be something there. Stephanie White is definitely feeling herself after getting a win without Caitlin Clark. They took the podium. Let's get into it.
Really took control of the third quarter. What was the difference that got you that lead that you didn't really get on?
Yeah, I mean, we had a solid first half, and I think for us, coming out in the third has been something that we've struggled with some games. So just our focus was go out there and execute, get stops, and let that fuel our offense.
And just first step especially after an 8-day break, how does this set the tone for this road trip going forward?
Well, I mean, I think the most important thing is we take it one day at a time. I think for us, we just want to get better, right? We want to get better on both ends of the floor. They had a great week of practice, and we came out and it showed. I thought our resilience was really good. I thought our defensive execution was outstanding, for the most part, and really, especially in that fourth quarter. And I think that it just shows the growth of our group. We had an opportunity to address some slippage, and now, of course, you want to start a road trip like this off with a win. But we gotta take it one day at a time, and we just gotta be about being better tomorrow than we were today.
For Kelsey, this was your first time coming back here since the playoffs when you got Rhabdo last year. Did it feel any different coming back here, or how you played from there?
I don't think so. I think the location for one is different. So we'll address that if we have to go back to the location we were on set. But no, I think it's just about staying focused on what is and let what was go. The past is the past as far as what did happen. But I look forward to just constantly growing with my group, getting the experience that we need to constantly compete.
For Alyssa or Kelsey, going back to the time off, in terms of what took place before, from a mental health standpoint, how much was that needed to sort of just take a deep breath, get away from the noise, relax, come back refreshed? Not after working on your game, but working on your mental health.
Yeah, I think it was great for us. I think, with our schedule, it's always next game up, and it's always within 2 days. And so for us to be able to have this time off to be in the gym, yes, for a few hours, but also find a lot of stuff that you can just spend more time doing, I think was super great for us. And now we're able to lock back in. But I mean, I wouldn't trade that break. I thought it was pretty great.
Just to piggyback off that, I mean, it's rare to get, I'm saying, a week of practice potentially in this league because there's so many games, so little time. How important is that going into the All-Star break next couple of weeks to have that practice time to fix some things and put some new stuff in there? Because I don't know if you have another chance to have more than 2 practices in a row.
Yeah.
I think when we do have practice, it's about making sure we clock in what we need to. I think it's about the discipline and maintaining that. But we're serious about being a top contender when it comes to winning and being a part of a championship culture, then we're going to have to do what we're going to have to do regardless. And I think practice or practice now, I just think it's about us. I think that we keep developing our culture and using these experiences that we have to keep developing as a group. We put ourselves in a good position down the stretch of the season.
Steph, if I can follow up my question, for you as a coach, in the number of times you've had to defend your players or frustrations and anger, for your mental health in terms of having those 8 days off, try to spend time watching film and game planning, but at the same time, take some time for yourself to get away from this and the noise. How did you deal with that?
Yeah, I think, first and foremost, my family, my kids, my partner, everybody around, that certainly helps. I also had an opportunity to play in a charity golf event, and it was a charity golf event for a children's hospital in Chicago. And when you see families that are going through really tough times, and that just want a little bit of hope, it helps you gain perspective about what's important and how you approach the game, because it is a game. Yes, we want to win. Yes, it's high stakes. But at the same time, we're talking about human beings and we're talking about people that go through real life things. And so I think it gave me an opportunity to just regain perspective, and understanding and a breath of fresh air, so to speak, and coming in and just having fun with our group. Cool. Thanks so much.
Now, hold on for just a second. What exactly is going on here? Stephanie White came out after the game talking about how they had an opportunity to address some things and how this team is continuing to grow together. But let's not get carried away here. Yes, the Indiana Fever beat the Las Vegas Aces, but let's be honest about the circumstances. The Aces were without A'ja Wilson, arguably their biggest difference maker. Caitlin Clark wasn't available for Indiana either, so both teams were missing stars. But if you watch that game, Las Vegas didn't exactly look like a team playing with urgency. Kennedy Carter looks completely checked out at times, Chelsea Gray didn't seem to have her usual burst, and Jewell Loyd struggled throughout the game. The Aces looked like a team counting down the minutes until their upcoming break. Then Indiana followed that up with a win over the Los Angeles Sparks, who have had a difficult season themselves. So yes, wins are wins, but let's not suddenly act like everything has been solved overnight. Then Stephanie White started talking about constantly growing with my group. That wording immediately caught people's attention, because many fans have started asking the same question. Who exactly is this team being built around? From the way the offense has looked recently, a growing number of people believe the answer is Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Mitchell has become the focal point offensively. She's getting the majority of the scoring opportunities, she's handling a huge workload, and the system appears to be designed to maximize what she does best. Whether that's intentional or simply the result of Caitlin Clark being unavailable is something fans continue to debate. But there's no denying what people are seeing on the court. Many believe the Fever have become more comfortable running their offense through Kelsey Mitchell than they ever were running it through Caitlin Clark. That's why this discussion keeps getting louder. Some fans even argue that Indiana has built a roster capable of functioning without Caitlin Clark instead of fully maximizing what she brings when she's healthy. Again, that's an opinion shared by many observers, but it's become one of the biggest conversations surrounding the team. Think back to the previous meeting with the Las Vegas Aces. That game was a complete mess for Indiana. Kelsey Mitchell had to be helped off the floor after suffering an injury, Aaliyah Boston fouled out, and the officiating became a major topic of discussion afterward. Everything seemed to go wrong. Fast forward to now, and the storyline feels completely different. Personally, I think the direction of this team has become much clearer over the past few weeks. Whether fans agree with it or not, many believe the organization has made its choice about how it wants this offense to operate going forward. Now we'll see what happens when Caitlin Clark returns to the lineup. If she's available for the next game, all eyes will be on how this offense changes, who gets the ball, and whether the approach looks any different. That's going to tell us a lot. But I want to hear from you. Do you think the Indiana Fever are building around Kelsey Mitchell, or do you think people are reading too much into recent games? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. And as always, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share the channel.